profane friends. This is the church I went in the other day, and I just wanted to show you the symbolism. But can you see the mistake in that window? One person spotted it, and that was he has a right foot on a left leg. Now, was that done on purpose? I don't know. Because when they start off their walk around the lodge, it's always start off on the left leg, on the left foot, you see? And then you've got the Unshod Man. Do you see what I mean? And it all goes, you know, it's a propel. I can't remember the bloody word now. But, yeah. So was that done on purpose? Anyone have a reference to that? Why there would be a right foot on a left leg? Apart from, obviously, like I said, the first foot leads. Do you know what I mean? And it also is the first, you know, you step into evil. Do you see what I mean? With your left foot, you step or trod on evil with your left foot. And also it's by the left, quick march. No, by the right, R-I-T-E, by the right, quick march. Do you know what I mean? But there's other interesting things here. Obviously you can see the 4 square, look. You see, and it's points, 5 points, yeah, which makes the Masonic cube, all right? But that's where the foot is, look. The foot is on the left leg. You see it, look? Now that is not a mistake. That was done by design. No one would make that mistake, especially by designing the windows. Do you know what I mean? I'll show you some more. Obviously you got the Jackin and, look, it's always the same, Jackin and Boaz columns, look. Yeah, Freakmasonry, you got your Masonic arches, you got your points within the circles, okay? But this is how they do it, you know, and the Freakmasons know exactly. See the Masonic floor, look, black and white tile floor, pyramids, 4 square, blah blah blah. Can you see it here, look? And I'll show you this in a. I should have done it. I should have added it to this really. But can you see the squares and the circles? Look, you see squares and circles. Squares and circles, because it's all Masonic, black and white obviously. But also notice these dudes, and I should have asked what these represent actually, because they actually do represent something, these people, and I forgot what it is. But if you notice, look, the red shoes, look, you see the red shoes? Oh baby, I'll show you a bit more in a minute, don't you worry. These are all Freakmasons. Notice they've all got bags of money sitting on thrones, yeah, okay. But anyway, let me show you the next one. Then we got the Masonic. Am I talking in this? Where the hell's that?
I don't know.
That must be somewhere quite away.
To be very honest, I've never spotted that before.
See, never noticed the square and calm pistol, you see, and that's in the church, you see. Can you see it, my profane friends? The square and calm piss on the church door. You see? Oh, they love it. Then can you see the symbolism here, my profane friends? Look. See it? What does that represent? See, you've got 3 of them. You see? Why? Huh? I don't know. You tell me. Just more Masonic symbolism. Then we've got here. Look at the symbolism of this. Look. You see the flower? Yeah. Obviously it's 2 lodge colours, which is the green and the tan. And then the flower is actually the forget-me-not. Okay. And it's 6 circles, if you look. There's more than that, obviously. I should draw it in, but those who know my video should know the 5 petals are circles, and then the one in the middle makes the 6th, okay? But if you look round each petal, there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's actually 6, you know, another 6. So you go tell me. But anyway, you see the pyramids, look. You see the pyramids, look. Circles and squares. Can you see the pyramid here, look, with the all-seeing eye in the middle, look, you see? Now watch, I'll show you something else. Now I know I'm going to forget something. That's 4 square. Let's see the square and calm piss, look. See, it's also 4 square, right? Now watch this. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, can you see the square and calm piss? Look there, look. Now, going through the dragons, like the green dragon, look, it's X. See the red X, look? And then the red X. Put two together, what do you get? Square and calm piss. But what I'd like to know is what these griffins or these monsters are to do with the church. Do you see what I mean? And then you've got the four circles, look, with the point in, and each one has it's four square again because it's the cross. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the four pyramids as well, you see? But that's another story. Can you also see the five, like where the dragon is? Can you see the square and the circles? Yeah, because again, it's four square. Yeah, which makes that, you know, let me draw it in. If not, everyone will go, oh no, I can't see it. For those who don't know about it, I'll show you. Right, here's your square and calm piss, right? Right there, look. Boom, boom, boom. I'll thin that out a bit. It's a bit too big, that is. Right, so that's your square and calm piss there, right, with the red, okay? Okay, that's your square and calm piss right in there, yeah? Here's your circles, look. Here's your square from this point here, look. These 4 points make your square, look. You see? That's your square. I'll make that a little bit smaller, still a bit big. Okay? So there's your square, and then if I join the red up, look, it makes 4 square, which we know makes 6, 6, 6, okay? So that's what that is. And also, as I said about the circles, look, you got one circle here, look, one, you got one circle there, you've got one circle here, you've got one circle there, okay? That's 4 square again, because when you line it through like this, that gives you 4 square, which again represents 6, 6, 6. Now, oh, wait there, my profane friends, wait there. Again, look, if you look at these dudes, oh, wait a minute, let me get up there a bit. I don't know if this is the window. These are kings again, but what kings are they? Yeah, or saints. They're either saints or kings. I can't remember what they are now. You know me. Again, can you see the 5 points, look? The 5 circles, look? 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle, 5 circle, and then on the points give you the 6th circle. So there's your 6, okay? But it's not just 6, you've got the big one out the outside here, look. You see the big one? That then gives you the 4 pyramids on each side, okay? It's always the same, it never changes. It's only hidden, yeah? Same as this here, look. Here's your pyramid. Yeah, there's your pyramid. And there's your all-seeing eye in the pyramid. See? Always the same, nothing changes. Oh, right there. Same again, look. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, and then on the points you get your 6th circle. Again, what sort of king or sort of queen is there? You've got your sheep or your lamb here with the flag. Yeah, another Masonic symbolism. Again, you've got these dudes here. Look, there's baby Jesus. Okay, don't know if you can see him, baby Jesus, in his manger or his crib. Now, there's something in this window. I forgot what it is. I always pick things up and then I lose it, and I'm like gutted because I forget where they are. Do you know what I mean? Wait a minute. Stick with me. Emmanuel, by the way, means Jesus. Just in case anyone didn't know, Emmanuel means Jesus. Again, look, you got the circles with the points here. Look, circles with points again. All Freakmasonry, all pyramids, squares, and circles. Now, what was it about this picture? There was something else in here I can't remember. Baby. But anyway, I'll move on because I can't remember what it is now. Go to the next one, yeah? Obviously that's Matthew, Mark, Jesus, Emmanuel, Luke, and John. That's who they are, by the way. Okay? Just in case. No one recognised who they were. I'm sure there was something else. I know there's something else and I can't think what it is, and I don't like leaving it when I forget about it. But anyway, that's the main window of the church. Wonderful, it is wonderful. Right, I'll just get back to the, wait, there's drawing. Let's try that. No, I've got to cancel it. Wait there. Discard, that's it. There we go. And then here, look. See the 3 X's, look. See? 3 X's. What do 3 X's make? Again, same thing. Nothing's changed. Makes 1 square and calm piss, which we know is 6. 2 square and calm piss, which we know is the next 6. And then we've got 2, 3, 2, which we know is the third 6. So each one of them is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 of Lucifer. You see? They can't help themselves with their symbolism. But that's what that is. That's why you always got the 3 X's. Once you see them 3 X's, remember, Jesus was in the middle and the 2 ruffians were on the left and the right. Okay, just remember that. Also, don't forget what you're seeing here, that point there, yeah, and that point there, yeah, puts that within the square, look, okay? That's the point within the square, okay, which gives you the 2 diamonds. And when you've got the 2 diamonds, that's what gives you, when you see 2 diamonds like that, that's what again gives you 666 of Lucifer. See? Freakmasonry. Wonderful, wonderful. And you see the heraldry flags, look, in the background. It's always the heraldry. That's who you're up against. Right, discard. Next picture. Again, can you see it, look? Right there, look. Let me get the, I'll draw again. There we go. Can you see it, my profane friends, look? The X, obviously is circles, and then in the middle you've got the all-seeing eye, you see? And that's what it is. It's all X, which obviously these are, don't forget, these are squares, look, 3 squares, yeah, like that, you see, 3 squares, yeah, boom, 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 and then you put the, where the lines are, look, that makes 4 square, gives you 666, same as here, look, it's got the 4 circles, well, the 5 circles, again, 4 square, 4 square. Take that back. Same as up here, look. Can you see it, my profane friends, look? If you follow the arrows, look. Yeah, like that. Okay, obviously it's 4 square, but this is what it is. It's just the square and calm piss. See? But it's also, if you look at it, yeah, you've got the square here, look. There's your square, yeah? And when you follow the lines, you end up with the 4 square again. 4 square is 6, 6, 6. It's not done there, but it's all done by patterns, all done by design. Yeah, all the time. Nothing changes. Same as why there's 1, 2, 3 slashes. See? 3 slashes. 1, 2, 3. See? There's only 3 blocks, look. 1, 2, 3, which give you the Masonic 9. See? Always the same. Nothing changes. As soon as you start seeing 3, 6s and 9s, can you see the 5 circles? Again, look, 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle, and then on the edges gives you the 5 circles. What is 5? The 5 dice move, which is this. That's what 5 is. Yeah, the 5, that's what you're seeing. Yeah, which is what? 2, 3, 2. You see? 2, 3, 2. That's what that is. But what is 2, 3, 2? Remember what 2, 3, 2 is? 2, 3, 2 is your Masonic cube of Saturn. See? That's what 2, 3, 2 is, my profane friends, you see? It's always the same, never changing. You know what I mean? Remember, it's also the 3 steps in Freakmasonry. Yeah? And because it's 5, yeah, which again is your 5, yeah, which you know is 2, 3, 2, okay, that's your 5. But then after your 3, that's your 5 steps, because you have 5 hidden chambers, and then you have 7 hidden chambers, which gives you that, which then gives you the subtotal of 7, which put G for gypsy, yeah, and that, my profane friends, gives you the Masonic cube, as I've said. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, of Satan. And that's what that's all what that is, look. 5 circles, look. And just follow the lines, look. Gives you the square and the compass. It's always the same. Nothing's changed. Pyramids, squares and circles. There's your square. There's your square. See? 6, 6, 6, 6. And don't forget you got the one in the middle as well, because it's 3 times. I'll just show you the middle one, look. You've got the square here, look. You see? There's your square there. And then you cross through it. See? So it's not once, it's 3 times, you see? It's always 3, 3, 6, 9, bum bum, as you go, so on and so on and so forth, yeah? I'm sure there's some more on there, but I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. It's all good, my profane friends. At least you're getting the idea, that's the main thing. Discard. Here's the other one. This one's pretty obvious, so I don't think I need to go show you the square and compass on this one, do I? Eh? No. And again, remember, it's 4 square. Let me do it. I'm going to draw it just to verify again how consistent these little Freakmasons are, yeah? Again, look, you follow it, look. That's what you got. You got your square, yeah? And then you got your cross through it. What is that? That's 4 squares. 4 square is what? 6, 6, 6 of Satan, you see? But remember, it's not just once, yeah? Look, yellow. There's your other one, look. There's your other one. Put the cross through it. Okay, yeah? And then what else you got here? Let's have a look. Oh, my profane friends, I'm so excited. And then we have, again, look, if you look, we have a square right here. And then you got a line that goes through, which gives you 3 4 squares, which represents 6, 6, 6. So why are they putting all these Lucifer, yeah, if he's nothing to do with God, all over the place within the church? And this is newly built. Obviously, you know, on the top there you've got, can you see the Masonic world domination ball here? Look, the world domination ball, yeah. You got the fleur de piss at the top, and I can go on and on and on with that bloody gate. You know what I mean? But that's what that is. Do you see what I mean? Again, look at the flowers, look. See the flowers? What are the flowers, look? Do you recognise it? Look, 2, 3, 2. It's the Masonic cube of Satan again. How'd they manage to get that? See? That's all it is, a Masonic cube of Satan. Why are they putting that in the church? See? You see it? It's also 2, 3, 2. Look, 2, 3, 2. See? So what is 2, 3, 2? I told you already. It's the Masonic cube of Satan. See? It's all over the gate. Why would that be in a church? I'll tell you why it's in the church. They built that into the church because the more you decimate the ground that's holy, the more your god Lucifer loves it. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Now here we have this, okay? Is a door. Well, it's in the side. It's like a tomb. It's got a rubbin, yeah? Look, see? But they say, and tell me, they say that's not a door, yeah? I told them it was a door, yeah? And it's sealed off or whatever. They're telling me that's not a door. And there's no one behind there. There's no secret passageways or anything else. So you tell me, do you think they just put that there like that and put a rubbin on it and that's no door? Of course that's a door. Do you see what I mean? But can I investigate that? Could I knock that down? No, because I don't have the power. You know what I mean? It takes the aboves to be able to knock that door down. If I start to do it, I'll be arrested. You see what I mean? But they're allowed to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so who's buried behind there? You know what I mean? Because they denied it to me. There was anyone buried behind there. They told me it weren't a door. So what is it then? See what I mean? The liars. Again, look, well, you got 3 arches, look. You see the 3 arches, look? 1 arch, 2 arch, 3 arches. Yeah, and look, again, another mistake, look. See, would someone get this mistake? Look, this do in remembrance of me. Why would they get that wrong? Again, is it to do with blasphemy, you know, where they decimate it or desecrate it? So it's wrong. Look, this do in remembrance of me. Now, I'm sure, right, it's supposed to be do this in remembrance of me. Do this in remembrance of me. So why have they done it? This do in remembrance of me. Now that's 2 massive mistakes in that church. Why? This do. I'm sure it's supposed to be do this in remembrance of me, but they don't. And why is there 3 candlesticks? Look. Oh, I don't know what I did there. 3 candlesticks, because it keeps with that, their silly little 3. Push that in there, get in there. See what I mean? Mad, isn't it? Oh yeah, by the way, let me just go back to that. Where is it? These are 33s, by the way. These are 3s, yeah? 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, 2 3s are 6, 6, 6, 6. Oh, baby. Anyway, back to here. But you've got to ask yourself that, haven't you? Why is that? This do in remembrance of me. That's a big mistake again. Why? Because it decimates the freaking table, doesn't it? Or the altar, or whatever it is. Again, look. Oh, where is it? Wait a minute. Stick with me, guys. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Something here. Oh, maybe I didn't. That weren't specific to this. I just thought I'd show you. There might be a mistake on it. I don't know. But I just think it's just too many mistakes. What was it? It was something. Oh, yeah, look. The fleur de pit. No. The triad claw. Look at the hand. See the triad claw of Freakmasonry? You see? The triad claw. And who lives in all these places up here? Look. You see that? Look. All this behind her, look. I'll show you in a minute. I think I've got it in another photograph. But there's the triad claw, look, of her hand. Oh, it's so excited. Can you see it, look? See, both hands, triad claw of Freakmasonry. Look it up. Strange indeed. Strange indeed. I'm sure there's something else on that window. But what do I know? I'm too profane. Then you have this dude here, look. Again, look at the feet. How many people do you know that have 3 middle toes bigger than their big toe? What is going on with this dude? I don't know anyone with a smaller big toe in life. So what is this dude? What is he? You see what I mean? Who is this dude? Venerable bead. I can't remember what a venerable bead is now. But again, look at all this. Look, what is it where he's living? Look, what are all these crowns and all this wealth? See what I mean? Who is this dude? See, I don't know who he is. He's a venerable bead, though, yeah? I can't remember what bead mean now. Look it up, I forgot. But look at the foot. Look at the foot. Does that seem normal? Where's the big toe? It's supposed to be bigger. All these mistakes. And then they've got this dude here in his red slippers. We'll say no more about that, eh? Him and his little red slippers, eh? You know what I mean, profane friends, don't you? You know exactly what I mean. So, there we go. Oh yeah, what's this dude here? Look. What is that? So, Aiden BP. I don't know what that means. But anyway, someone will know. And again, up the top, look. See it, look? The all-seeing eye within the pyramid. Again. And then here, this is the royal crown. This had to be put in everyone's church. I think it was Henry VIII, I think. Don't quote me on that, though. But again, can you see it? Yeah? Where are they getting these monsters, look? See, where do these monsters come from? Eh? Where are these monsters coming from? Back in the day. You know what I mean? Where are these monsters coming from? And again, it's the heraldry, look. This was in 1664, yeah? Okay. There's the heraldry, there's the family, there's the 3 fleur de pis, look. Well, there's 4 of them, 3 times, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah? Fleur de pis 3 times, okay? You got your harp, all symbolism. There's your crown with the lion above, ER. But this had to be put in every church, this did. You know what I mean? But that's what you're dealing with, families, yeah? Royal bloodlines, yeah? Especially G-travelling ones, you know what I mean? Remember, they had kings as well. They have kings, they have queens. But there you go. But that's the question I'm asking, is why this do in remembrance of me, when it should be do this in remembrance of me, okay? And then we have the dude with the funny foot, okay? Anyone can explain that? Okay, I don't know what sort of man would have. Let's see if he is a man. Maybe he's not. I don't know. That don't seem normal to me. And then the other mistake, I'm sure there's something else I'm missing here. I think that's a square and a compass in behind that table, I think there was. And I forgot to photograph it. But anyway, that's another story. And then back here, oh, look at that square and compass. And then back here, you've got to ask why this man has a right foot on a left boot, on a left leg. And again, look at the floor, look. You see it's Masonic, look. Black and white tiled floor. They're always Freakmasons, look. You see what I mean? Always Freakmasons. So, yeah. You got to ask why. And then this is the church I went in the other day. I'll just play that. It's 2 minutes and 33. Beautiful church. You know what I mean? But it's when you get a closer look at it that you understand, yeah? But now watch the Masonic symbolism. Obviously, you got the all-seeing eye in the pyramid, yeah? And then what you got there, look, 2, 3, 2, yeah? It's the 7, the Masonic cube of Satan, yeah? Right, but what you got here, 7 here. Oh, 7 and 6, 13, you see? So that's their Masonic 13 on there. And what you got here, why is there 3s, you see? 3 windows, you see? 3s. What could 3s possibly mean? And then what you got up the side here, look, you got 9 bricks on each side. See? So what's 9 and 3? 12. 12, 2 and 1, 3. See? So everything's always 3, but with that 3 marked on that 3, it gives you the 6, 6, 6. See? There's symbolism. Then what you got, the fleur de pis here, look. Fleur de pis. And then right on here, what you got there, another circle within the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. You got the Knights Templar cross. You see? There's symbolism. No nonsense. Again, fleur de pis on the things again, look. See? It's just a Masonic church. Knights Templars run it all, control it all. But they wouldn't do nothing with this. They wouldn't put homeless in here or nothing. They'd just leave it abandoned for anyone to not use. You know what I mean? Well, look at it. I mean, why you got 3 pyramids, look? See? And then again, you got the 2, 3, 2, which is the Masonic cube of Satan. See, you got to question these things. They don't like these questions being asked. But you point it out in the church and they'll shush you up and kick you out of the church. You know what I mean? And I don't care what church you're in. They will boot you out. You know what I mean? They're terrible, aren't they? But the Freakmasons own it all, run it all. And they're all G-travelling Templars. Masonic G-travellers. They're in every town and city. And their job is to keep you poor and on drugs. I promise you that. You'll never have a business, you'll never own a business, you'll never have anything. Anyway, have a great day, my sugar puffs. And there you go. If anyone can help about the foot, or both foots, well, they've got long. Well, one geezer's got one short, big toe, and the left leg is a right leg on it, or whatever. Any help with that would be great. Remember, I love you all, and take it easy. Try and spot some for yourself in your own hotels. Remember, they're all run by Freakmasons. Have a great day.